Disclaimer. The conversations, ideas, plans, and other content of this podcast do not constitute advice about investing in cryptocurrency or any other types of investment. We are learners, not investment experts, and we intend this podcast only to be a record of our own journey into cryptocurrency investments. Enjoy! All right, welcome back to the Getting Started with Crypto podcast. We are here today to discuss some dope action that's been going on in the currency world of crypto.
Dope.
It's the dopest dope that we ever... Well, we don't smoke. But Christian, how are you doing this week, and how's your and how is your portfolio?
You know, the week started out fantastic. I hit a new personal all-time high.
$20.
$20, baby. Going to Vegas. But unfortunately, past few days, I have not been immune to the dips that we've been seeing in the market. So I'm currently down for the week, probably 5 to 10%.
That's not bad.
That's actually not the worst. Joe, how are you?
I'm about, I think, down 11% right now.
All right, James.
Well, okay, so growing up, you know, my father's an artist.
Okay.
Where are we going?
And we had a lot of art books in the house, and one of them I really liked was MC Escher, and he has that famous picture of the hands drawing each other. One hand's drawing the other hand. So my altcoins are like that picture, except they're digging each other's graves. That's what's going on.
Okay.
That's how my week's going.
So are you up or down this week?
I'm probably down roughly 15 to 20%.
Well, I beat everybody this week. I am up 2.98% on the week, touching an all-time high of $1 billion thanks to some error on Etherdelta.
To be fair, you've been trading up to the minute since we've been here.
That's true. To make it so I would be up on that.
To be fair, you're trading right now.
Just to try and win. Yeah, so we've got a little bit of news, or we've got two things to cover in the news today that are pretty important. The first one is the Korea FUD. So, Christian, why don't you go ahead and talk about that?
Yeah, so I can't remember what night it was. It was earlier this week.
Monday
night. I'm chilling in a Telegram group, looking at all my tokens. Everything's looking great.
Smoking a cigar.
Then all of a sudden, I see somebody throw up a link to, I think it was CNBC, announcing that 3 of the top 5 exchanges in Korea have been raided, and that South Korea is looking to ban crypto trading completely.
Wow.
So immediately, Bitcoin, the big 3, Bitcoin, Ethereum, I don't know who's the third now, Litecoin, immediately start dropping. Of course, when that happens, alts start bleeding. About an hour later, you see a correction article get posted that turns out in Korea, the exchanges are regularly rated or visited just to check out the exchange, make sure everything is legal and functioning. And this typically happens.
They just pick one employee to beat to death. It's a lottery.
But 3 to 5, it turns out 3 to 5 times a year this just happens, and it's just part of the system over there. So it was complete FUD. There's no legislation coming out that's going to ban cryptocurrency exchanges. The real news is they are looking at cracking down on accounts on exchanges that are not in a single person's name that track to nothing, which, you know, that type of legislation actually makes sense.
Yeah,
but
fair enough.
They led with, you know, just crazy fake news title that there's going to be a ban on crypto in South Korea. And if you look at South Korea, they are the biggest traders of cryptocurrency. So it just, all week, the market, I think, has been recovering from this news.
And there is a good point of understanding with this, though, that the new market floor seems to be around the 700 billion total market cap value there. So we're talking about bleeding this week, but if you have been keeping up with this for the last 3 or 4 months, you have elevated floors that have happened several times, 3 or 4 times over by this point. So if we had been talking about, 2 months ago, a $700 billion market cap, we all would have looked at that and been like, it's
awesome.
Freaking Christmas. Yeah, Christmas came early.
Also, I mean, every once in a while, there's just a big market crap. I mean, it just takes a dump.
Nice. Good alliteration. Market cap to market crap.
Yeah, I mean, that's what happened in December, right? In December, right around Christmas, the whole thing kicked the bucket. And it felt apocalyptic for probably newcomers. And
for me, too.
and the New Year's blessing was all of a sudden it went bling, 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 bling. Like everybody got back in. They saw the well of...
Can we make a cutout of just him doing that sound?
But there was for as much of a crap it took, there was a giant influx of new money soon after. And personally, I think it's probably going to do the same thing.
Yeah, fun fact, a lot of the Wall Street
That's
guys
right.
get their bonuses on January 15th there. So there could be a lot of new money that's flowing
Ooh.
into the market being spent on
That's an
crypto
interesting.
there. So
Yeah.
something just to pay attention to. But there's one piece of news that I have found interesting because keeping in tune with kind of the regulatory actions that are happening over in Southeast Asia, there has been talk by Stephen Mnuchin, yeah. Stephen Mnuchin, who is the current U.S. Secretary of the Treasury. And he has made some comments about trying to regulate specifically Bitcoin wallets, equating them to the anonymous Swiss bank accounts there. So this article is from Cointelegraph, and this is my favorite
Good luck.
quote. Okay, he goes,
Good, more money in alts.
he says, if you own or if you have a wallet to own Bitcoins, the company has the same obligation as a bank to know you. We can track those activities. The rest of the world doesn't have that. So one of the things we'll be working very closely with the G20 is making sure that this doesn't become the Swiss bank account.
I don't believe a word of
That's
it.
kind of funny because Obama said that Bitcoin is like having a Swiss bank account in your pocket.
Okay, but the other thing to recognize with that is Mnuchin and people who are saying this don't seem to understand that not all wallets that are made are hosted by companies there. So the idea that the people, if you have your wallet in a company that, or if you have your money in a wallet, in a paper wallet or something that's not hosted by a company.
This paper company needs to know who I am.
Right, so it still is indicative to me of being so far behind the 8 ball that they have no idea where they're going, what they're saying, or what they're doing.
And a lot of these companies just don't exist in the U.S. either, and they're not interested in dealing with the U.S.
No, and why would they? There's no point because the regulatory actions that are being presented by anybody in the U.S., kind of higher up world there, don't seem to be making sense or showing the least bit of understanding for cryptocurrency as a whole.
Well, but you know what I think it is? I mean, this is, we're talking about how we're easy to become conspiracy theorists. My thought is, I think right now that a lot of the most public conversation about Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, the stuff that's like on your that's being spoken by representatives of the White House or the U.S. government, stock market big boys who are making their comments in the news and the news themselves. I think that's all connected to an interest to sort of just de-hype crypto.
Well, let me read.
They're trying to convince the general consumer out there that it's a bubble.
Everything's fine.
Well, okay, so Mnuchin also addresses the potential that countries may use digital currencies to skirt existing financial sanctions. He said he doesn't think that that's a problem at all. That there's like no potentiality of that happening in any way whatsoever. Like Russia or Venezuela won't be able to function in that capacity. And it's just like you don't understand the tech, right? There, and then you, on top of that, insinuate that countries that are already struggling or already kind of a little bit flimsy with always adhering to regulatory sanctions aren't going to try and find a way to exploit this new, unregulated on a world scale opportunity for different understandings to be able to kind of generate more revenue and wealth and stability for themselves. Like, of course countries are going to look into doing that. Like, that would be one of the first things I would do if I was in a country like Venezuela. Hence the petrol coin. Like, that's exactly what they're trying to attempt to conjure up right now. So we're just, our government is just so far behind in an understanding on this. It's just laughable.
I think not, but honestly, though, I think they do understand. I think there's a difference between what they know and what they're going to say to the public.
Yeah, that could be true.
To try to
That could be
control
true.
certain things. Like, their best tool to control cryptocurrency is to just
Playing
put
dumb.
out news and to put out a legal threat.
Illuminati
right?
confirmed.
Well, the government, I mean, I would just think they want to keep as much of our money into the institutionalized banks. So they're
Right.
not going to be putting out announcements, hey, go get into crypto. It's a great bet. It's the next
the
thing.
government
Like,
is
they
on-
have their reasons to keep
I
people
think
out
the
of it.
I think the realistic thought is that they know how crippling it could be to them. So they're doing, I feel like the smartest thing is to, like you said, play dumb. And just be like, oh, well, we don't know what's going on, and we'll just let the, I don't know. I'm just saying, it doesn't work.
Anyway,
Cut himself off mid-thought. No, I agree with you. And that. So, all right, we've got two things coming up in this next section. Two extremely controversial subjects that we're about to chat about.
Yeah.
And James
Are you
is
ready
by
for-
far more controversial than what I'm
Oh,
about
you
to
think?
suggest.
We'll see.
Yeah.
all right, I'm gonna make a case right now. Etherdelta is actually good.
Somebody should stab him.
No, this
All right,
occurred
I'm
to
out
me.
of here, guys.
No,
It's
okay.
been fun.
Podcast
Okay.
is over.
We've lost all credibility with that one statement.
No.
Thanks for listening.
I'm gonna give you my reasons. I'm gonna give you 3 facts to consider.
It's a
Right.
website.
And I'm not getting
You
paid
can
by
use Internet
Etherdelta.
Explorer.
I have no business with them other than
this
when I
is
do
not
my
a
personal
sponsor
business.
episode. For
Right.
I mean, they
Etherdelta.
haven't been hacked this month so far.
No.
Hey, this year.
They're not the only
Literally,
ones.
I think that's literally one of his points. I think.
No. So point one. So sell and buy orders. If you write the orders, not you're the one clicking on it, but you create the order, you don't get charged anything. First of all, right? There's no fee, there's no GUI, anything like that. If you write sell and buy orders,
True.
The only person who pays for that is the person who clicks on those orders to complete them. So that's nice for small traders like me. Also, a lot of people have a hard time getting their money into or out of Etherdelta. It's because they don't know how to use the GUI. The reality is, and this part kind of sucks, but it's true, it will work like butter if you put the right amount of GUI in.
If you're willing to spend an arm
So
and
you
a
have
leg.
you have to go to ETH gas station, and you have to find out that currently what is the right amount of GUI to get the miners on your
So
site.
that's actually a really helpful.
Sometimes
site.
it
We need
can
to
be-
link that in the show
Yeah.
notes.
Sometimes it can be a very low amount of GUI, and then sometimes it can be a really high amount of GUI, and you might need to just wait it out.
It's all timing.
So, third point, and this is the one that started making me think this way. No wallet lockdowns. So, like, I've been doing business with various exchanges, let's say Espers, but I won't mention what exchanges, and I have Espers on one. I realize, oh my gosh, I could be selling it over on this other exchange. Oh, interesting. My wallet on my exchange is in maintenance, and I can't withdraw when it's selling so well in some other exchange. And this has been happening to me repeatedly, mostly with smaller coins, that anytime they're gaining traction, the exchanges shut down their wallets. Etherdelta has not done that to me, and they're dealing in the same coins.
Etherdelta lost 1,000 of my Tron.
Well, I don't know what happened with that.
You saw the address though, right? Like you saw everything, and it was my address. It was their contract, but it disappeared. Like that's still, and the fact that you can't contact anybody.
Well,
There's-
it's because they're not an exchange. They look like an exchange.
Well, they're decentralized.
But,
Yeah, but
they're
that-
just an app that makes smart contracts. So whatever happened in the smart contract space. And I
So
don't.
you're relying your trust on smart contracts that don't always work.
They've always worked for me. That's all I can say.
All right, so are we? We'll take a vote on this. Do we agree with these 3 points, or how do we feel?
I think the idea behind Etherdelta and the things you spoke to, they're all pros. Where I've lost confidence on them is the execution. So, past couple months, their website was taken down and a new dummy website was put back up to fish people's information out. Their communication in that process was anything but speedy or impressive, and just things I look for when I'm.
I think the order of that was wrong. A dummy website went up to fish, and they shut down Etherdelta to stop people from going there.
No, the dummy website stayed up through that whole time.
But it wasn't their dummy website. It made it sound like you made it sound like they closed down their website and put up a dummy.
I mean, that would make
What
more
happened was a fishing website went up, and they reacted.
In
like
place
shit.
of it, they-
didn't do that.
that also could have.
But just the fact that happened, and I
Back to the
think it
tinfoil
happened
hat.
twice, that actually happened, and they didn't have a solution for it. There were people, if you didn't go to their Twitter and look that up, you would go into Etherdelta, you'd try to make a trade, and you'd lose everything that you loaded into Etherdelta.
If you went to the dummy website.
Yeah, which
the
the
dummy
dummy website was the official URL, so
Yeah,
where else would
they-
you go?
So basically, instead of hacking the exchange, it'd be like, if you host a website on GoDaddy,
Okay.
it's like somebody hacking that and going in as like the website administrator.
But
And they
somebody hacked it. They didn't do it themselves.
Right,
So
right.
that, I
So
want
a
to
third-
make sure that
yeah.
we're nuancing our language here.
A third party,
Yeah,
basically,
they were attacked.
Yeah, that's,
took
when I say
over.
hacked, I don't mean that they hacked themselves.
Right.
I might think they hacked themselves.
Well, I mean,
Do we know that? Do we know?
so all right, well,
it was a clever hack, really.
it was well done.
and the thing is, they're not the only ones who got cleverly hacked in this space. NiceHash got hacked,
Oh.
Yeah.
screwed a lot of
Don't
people.
remind me.
There's everybody, most people have
don't
had
jinx
their,
it. Don't jinx it. Don't say
have had
anybody
their
else.
the websites. I mean, not the investors or the
Well, I
buyers.
mean, that all the way back to Mount Gox, right?
Right.
Right. Everybody's had their day with the hackers, some worse than others, Etherdelta being one of the worst, period. But my point being is that, hacking sucks and hackers suck. But aside from that thing that is difficult to control for anybody, Etherdelta themselves have not screwed me by shutting down wallets, which has become a real frustration.
No, I think that's
with
a
the other
really
exchanges.
fair pro. I think that's a really big pro to consider when trying to just move small
Etherdelta
amounts of
doesn't
money
actually
around.
host wallets.
Exactly, because
Right.
they're not really an exchange.
So ultimately, what you're making a case for is more decentralized exchanges having a greater space in this world.
That's not seemingly being controlled
Yeah,
by
a
exchange
company.
communication
Yeah.
between each
But do
other.
note there is competition coming to Etherdelta.
Yeah, that'd be
in that
great.
space. Yeah,
I definitely
No,
want
Who's
it.
coming?
competition.
NXT, right, is one that's starting.
Maybe one. I looked up another one the other day. I think it was AirSwap.
Yeah.
It's a similar idea, similar concept. So I mean, I'm all for these decentralized
Yeah, well,
exchanges.
in addition to that, there are things that are out, like Changely already
Mm-hmm.
exists, and Changely is as smooth as butter when you're trying to put different coins into different stuff. So
All right, real quick before we get into the next thing, I thought we should do a quick update on OST because isn't this tomorrow's a big date?
Yeah, so Simple
yeah,
Token tomorrow is a big day for a couple of different reasons. So
And that day being, just for the sake of the recording,
January 15th.
January 15th.
January 15th, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. January 15th. So all ICO investors will be receiving their bonus tokens, and I think that's going to be at 8 a.m. Eastern. And if you don't recall, or ICO investors are receiving a 45% bonus. So each person that went in the ICO is going to receive an additional 45% of tokens into their wallet. Generally, when the bonuses come in, you can expect a dip, or that's what the thought is, because
Sell.
people are going to want to take their profits off the top right away. But with that said, the CEO of Simple Token, he has put out kind of a teaser that tomorrow on the 15th, they're going to be announcing a bunch of new partnerships and then some new programs that will be utilizing Simple Token, similar to their KYC as a service plan to burn tokens and add more value
And
to
the way
Simple
I
Token.
personally interpret that is it's not so much going to stop people from selling, but what it'll do is it'll make buyers
Mitigate.
pay more for what they're selling.
Yeah.
So it'll go up from the increased sales instead of going down.
Yeah,
so
that's
some nice mitigation to whales taking profits.
it's my hope. It's more reason to believe in the team behind Simple Token, that they know what they're doing. They're very strategic with every move they've made thus far.
Yeah.
All right. So one of the things that we run into on this podcast sometimes is non-universal agreement about money things that we should be, or coins specifically, that we are going to throw some money at.
So tell us about this crapper coin.
And we are at an impasse this week. And the coin that I'm bringing for submission, I guess, is a coin called Dentacoin.
Oh, it's gonna get submitted, all right.
And I would like to submit, I submit to you 3 reasons that this coin is a better pick to invest in than Etherdelta is an exchange to trade on. There.
Full
So,
disclosure, Josh just purchased 15 of these tokens.
50. I have 50 of these coins already.
13 cents worth, right?
Yeah, something like that. That's what Blockfolio says. But
we don't talk numbers.
no, I'm spending big money over here.
I
So-
think you'd have a better chance of just begging everybody to pump with you.
All right. So shut up. First of all, that's my first point.
Shut your mouth.
Shut up.
Your best odds are a coin flip.
So, okay, here's what I like about what this company is trying to do. Okay.
They have a website.
They have a really nice looking website. That's one thing.
It's
to
actually
consider.
just an okay looking website.
It says the guy who's never built one in his life.
Also
Okay.
currently down 30%.
Which is a good buy time, right? Good time to get in right now. So here's what I do like. All right. Healthcare, dental healthcare specifically, is a worldwide need, right? We see these in often developing countries where there is lack of resources available to people who are in either farming communities or they don't have access to big city medical care, and let alone, specifically stuff for your mouth. And so we don't even get a lot of dental care as part of our healthcare packages in America. Like, that's not usually it.
It's usually a separate add-on or
Yeah.
a separate service altogether.
So that makes me think if we don't even get that in America, then obviously it's probably not going to be in a lot of places that are in the developing world, right? And so, I mean, some places have better stuff, but what they are trying to do, so they're an ERC20 token, right? And they're trying to become the first blockchain-based platform for trusted dental treatment, which allows patients to be able to raise their voice and have impact on the global dental industry. So one, they're already thinking globally in terms of what they're trying to do and create. So that's a good, kind of a good wide-angle start, okay? The second thing, I really can't take myself seriously here when talking about this coin. One of the things that I do like. Hey! Stop
You
it.
just shut yourself down.
Stop it.
Do you tap it?
So one of the other things that I do think is valuable, though.
How many dentists take this coin?
One.
All right,
Right
good
now,
start.
which means you guys are getting an opportunity to get in on the ground floor of this coin.
Where's this dentist at?
It's a $1.4 billion dental company, right? That's taking them.
I'm not sure of.
All of a sudden, you're not sure. So something to consider with them.
It's a huge dental company.
Yeah. I'll get to the partnerships in a moment.
And they're signing the high five.
They have this blockchain-based
You know what this
dental
sounds like
insurance
to me?
concept.
Let me give you, and I don't know. Allegedly, I don't know. This is intuition, not some kind of fact. It sounds like this is more the plan of a big dental company to drum up business from the cryptocurrency community.
Dental plan.
Right.
Well, at least he needs braces.
Hey, we're already making lots of money. What's another kind of money we can make? Well, let's make a Dentacoin.
Here's what I do like, right? An interactive aftercare app to assist patients in steps to be followed for post-treatment, aiming at developing long-lasting oral hygiene habits in both children and adults. So again, they're hitting hard on the usability factor. So if they can create an app that's functional, right? If they can create an app that has value and is easy to utilize, then this is something that can be easily adapted in developing worlds where generations or like older tech generations of smartphones are becoming super cheap, right? And so there have been several coins in the blockchain space that have attempted to do this in terms of providing
I don't know. Again, not knowing a lot, I'm not sure if relying on the developing world would help a business like this.
Well,
you need an economy that has money to spend on dentists on dental work.
Right, and so it has to become a priority and not just a luxury. That's true. So that is something that's a small thing that's a tick against them. I will give you that.
Okay.
Relatively small. They've got 8 trillion tokens, so I'm going to kind of gloss over that.
Wow.
But
okay.
thankfully, 7.55 trillion of them are locked there, so they have a small, far smaller circulating supply. So that is valuable to know. But here's the thing that I like most about them. Quickly, is that they have a specific roadmap, not just with like quarter dates, specific dates in the year, all throughout 2019, Q3 of 2019, basically, they have locked down. So if things don't hit by the time that the dates are recognized there, then you have a very open, honest, transparent, and easy way to analyze the value
Christian
of this
wants
coin.
to shut you down. I can tell.
No, it's not a coin for me, but I can see if you believe that this project has legs to it, there's maybe that opportunity that, hey, I'm going to put $100 in this today, and maybe this does become a thing. Maybe it does blow up, and then you've got your dental care taken care of for the rest of your life because this token's blown up in value. Maybe that's an option that'll bring people in.
I'll give my opinion.
Did I move you from a no to a maybe?
No.
No. And all joking aside, here's my real problem. And this is probably my third time saying it today, that I don't like coins that don't have a product other than the coin itself.
Yeah.
They're not offering dental work. There's no dental company here. They're trying to just give you a coin where you can buy dental work later with.
Here's some partners that they have, though.
But partners aren't a product. I like a coin that has some kind of substantive product behind it. I don't like thinking of the coin itself as the product.
All right, so we've got 2 people who are missing out. Joe, are you in on this?
Nope.
All right, so 0 for 3 for you guys. It sucks to be you.
I hope you get rich on this and you shove it in our face. I really do hope that.
Currently trading on HIT BTC and Etherdelta.
To be fair, I'll actually give you or put in $10 for you.
Yeah, we are gonna pump this thing.
I'll pump it.
So
sell it 1 cent at a time.
All right, so that was my convince us segment, and that did not go well. So we'll really quickly talk about the coin of the week. Yeah.
So Appcoin.
Oh, so we want to talk about a good coin now?
Yeah.
All
Yes,
right.
please. Christian, serve us up something worth eating.
Yeah, so Appcoin is brand new, just hit Binance.
I hope
in
you
the
choke
last
on your
week or
Appcoin.
So. It's currently only traded on Binance. And one thing I've noticed, I've been watching it on Binance, just the amount of volume being traded on this coin right now has been sky high. Currently,
and if you're listening to this at the time of the week of publication, this video, it's a little low due to the whole cryptocurrency market dropping. Mm-hmm. And when things are low, make your own decisions. But I buy when things are low, and this is
I usually buy when they're high.
Yeah. So the entire market cap right now is sitting at $280 million.
A
There's
lot of room for growth.
only a total token supply of 246 million.
Wow.
And the coin sitting
What are they going to
at
do without the other 7.7 trillion?
opportunity to grow to that. So in 24-hour volume, $74 million. So just
By the way,
solid.
talk about the product it's connected to.
Oh, I'm getting there.
Okay, all right.
Solid statistics all around. So taking a deeper dive into what Appcoin is. Appcoin is a part of the phone app Aptoid, which is similar to your Google Play Store, your iOS store, and it's currently used by more than 200 million people. So the thought is that you'll purchase app coins that you'll use to buy applications on the App Store, and all profits are going directly to the creator of the app. So my thought
So
is
it's eliminating the middleman?
eliminating the middleman. Exactly. Their goal is not to make profits on the sales on the App Store. I hear 200 million users. I get excited. That's a big user base, a lot of potential, brand new coin to the market. That's why I'm excited about it.
All right. Well, yeah. So it's got a great product. It's got a product, a service that's already being populated by customers. 200 million, I believe you said, right?
Yeah, in this quarter, Q1, though, people will be able to make purchases with the coin on the App Store.
Yeah. So I think something that's important to know is, from my perspective at least, don't think of this as something that's going to compete with the App Store. Instead, it's going to be an alternative for people that don't want the App Store anymore. You're still going to have 1 billion users on the App Store. You know, iTunes and Google Play are still going to own the market, but there's always the people that are sick of the big two or big three and they want an alternative, and this is where this comes in.
Yeah, and I think regionally, internationally, there are some issues with Google Play Store or iOS Store. So that's why you're seeing this app has a lot of popularity. I can see in South America, a lot of users, Mexico, Africa, different regions of Europe. So, I mean,
All right, so
even
you'll
though
buy his
you don't
argument for the
recognize it here in
developing
the
world, but you
States,
won't buy
it is
mine.
big internationally.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I like this pick, and I like that it's on Binance.
Yeah, that's
nice.
helpful.
I like that it's not like overly circulated yet, that it's at a reasonable number, not 7.7 trillion. I like though that it's on a good exchange, but only one, because that means it's gonna get
early.
more exchanges. It's gonna get more exchanges, and with exchanges, usually, in my experience, comes bumps.
Yep.
So
Every time.
I'm in on this one.
All right, I'm in as well.
273 already?
If you've got some money after Dentacoin, Joe, are you going to go in on this one too?
I literally just did.
Okay, on Dentacoin, nice, I love it. All right, so
No,
be sure to always do your own research. We are not financial advisors. This is not supposed to be interpreted as financial advice. Thank you very much for joining us, and we will see you guys next week.